Hey chatters, this is going to be some learning in public. I want to show some things off, in particular what the model context protocol actually looks like in practice. What I've done to try to make this more accessible is exactly that. Put it in Obsidian so it's very easy to set up for you. Whenever your Obsidian vault is up, it'll be activated, and you can use the Claude Desktop app to take agentic actions within your vault to a kind of crazy degree. Yeah, let's just take a look. I think the best way to go through this is to show you, not tell you. Let's talk about it a little bit. So here I am in my vault, and if I go to my settings and I go to community plugins, I have my Claudesidian MCP right here. You can see I still haven't added some stuff, your name. This is not in the store right now, as you can see, and that's because this is something I'm working on. I haven't gotten it approved by Obsidian. Take all that with a grain of salt there. But all we did is we put it in the vault, and so now I can use it. So now we're in the Claude Desktop app, and you're going to see this little tool icon here now. That's new. If we open up the tools, we can see everything it has access to. So let me just briefly go through this. The way I'm thinking about it is like your Claude is the coordinator of these team members, right? And so we have a few different team members who can do a few different things. The note editor just finds a note and replaces stuff in it. A note reader, so can either read a single note or batch read notes. Palette commander, this is specific to Obsidian, but what this allows you to do is if you open the command palette, let's actually head over. Look, so if I open the command palette, I have all these things I can do just from the command palette. And this just gives Claude access to all of this. So it can do any of this if it wants. Then we have the project manager. This is the task manager. So they're going to come up with a plan. They might ask a question. They do milestone checking, just keeps the project on track and whatever you're doing, especially if it's multi-step. The librarian, this is the searcher, the indexer, the one who can find anything in the vaults. And then your vault manager, like creating, deleting, moving things. So that's our team members. And so now it has full access to my vault, but you really got to give it some direction first, and is really important because otherwise it's starting from scratch every single time. You need to give it the map for how to best leverage your vault and what it is, some context, all that good stuff. So there is some sort of natural language, some prompting that we're going to have to do, and let me show you how. I've put a vault map of contents in here. Now, this isn't necessarily complete. I'm probably going to have to test, right? I'm going to have to improve it. If it's not doing what I want it to do, I want to treat this like a prompt to help direct it. I've given it like a general overview of all the vaults, main folders, what you can do, the plugins you have access to. Templates are super important because otherwise it's much more likely it's going to go off the rails. But if you give it some guidance around what you want to do and when, and give it that directive of, look, if you're generating something, right, look for the templates first. So let's look at an example and then I'll show you what all this looks like. You can see here we have a bunch of different templates, even a map of contents template to make maps of contents for other areas of your vault that help to index and better navigate it. For example, we have a content template. This is very simple right now. We have some metadata that we wanted to fill out, the content itself, and maybe some social media LinkedIn posts. Probably the most important templates are going to be something like a project template and maybe a meeting note template if you're meeting with other people or trying to keep track of things. But the idea is you're giving it these further tools in the tool chest to use to better connect your information. Okay, I've done like way too much talking, so let's actually show how this works. So you'll see here I have created a Synaptic Labs Vault project in my Claude. We have access to the tools, and I have a quick little prompt. This is something I'm obviously going to iterate on to make it better and better, but I just want to give you an idea of how we want to navigate this through natural language. Like I said, we want it to get oriented first. So it's not always going to listen to me, but we're telling it like, go read this file first and foremost. This is the most important thing. Like I said before, leverage the templates. So give it the pathway to your templates folder so that it knows where to look. It doesn't have to list things out and then go search for it and blah, blah, blah. Just one step, it knows where it is. And then whatever sort of other preferences you have, you can add anything that you want here. Okay, I'm starting hot off the gate. We're going to see how this works. So this is a fairly complicated thing. This takes multiple steps. If you had to automate this like linearly or sequentially, It would be a pain in the butt, but here we go. Natural language. My team is working on the research flow project. I want you to check if we have a project dashboard already filled out for it, and if not, start one. We are currently drafting the storyboards for the research flow and need to make some changes based on comments made there. So can you make a to-do list out of those comments? Nothing maybe too complicated for us, but this is a multi-step thing. Let's see how it deals with it. So first off, is it listening to the prompt? No, but it gets there, right? Now it's finding the map of contents that we've written. So now it's got all the context it needs. You can see it's going so fast, I can't even keep up with it. It's listing all the folders in projects right now. So it can figure out, okay, is there a research flow project? And you can see down here, it just found it. And now since it's found it, it's reading what we got. It's doing some more research now, draft text. It's looking in that folder. It's finding some examples of where we're at. It's doing a search for a storyboard research workflow. Oh God, it's like faster than I can keep up with. Oh, they got my name wrong. I need to update the vault, the map of contents for that. But you can see it's filling out a project plan now for the dashboard. And then we come down here, it's still working. It's getting an update now on every single lesson. It's reading each one to see where I've left comments so that it can update the project plan. Oh, finally, here we go. It's reading the last lesson. Now, this is something I've been trying to work out. It doesn't like to do batch read unless you tell it explicitly. It had to do those individually, but it could have just listed them out and read them all at once. So got to figure that out. Okay, it's updating now the dashboard. It's coming up with all the to-do list. And then what are we doing here? Create note. Oh, and it's creating a status update for us, which is nice. But I didn't ask it to do that. Like, it probably should have stopped after what I told it to do, but this is like crazy, right? It's still putting stuff out there. Okay, let's head over to the vault and see what actually happened. Again, after just that simple-ish prompt I had, but was actually quite a complicated task. So we can see here primarily what it did is it added all these action items for us to follow up on. And then you can tell it to add more, whatever you want, but that's what we wanted it to do. And not only did it do that, it has now populated it in our task. So now we've all actually been assigned this. Okay, and then we said the status update. So here we have a nice little status update for ourselves based on what we've done, some questions to follow up. And from here I could say, hey, let's make a meeting template for next week's meeting to talk through these changes. You can just keep going until it essentially runs out of context memory. I want to test out one more thing, which is this idea of a hotkey. So in that map of contents for the vault, I had a list of hotkeys where I can just do a command, whatever, and it should be able to do a more complicated task in a specific way. In this case, I have a save command, which is /s or /save. And what I want to do is go find its memory template and then essentially use that template to write out a memory for itself based on this conversation. So let's try it out. I literally just have this, and what we wanted to see it do is I'll save it as a memory. Okay, I looked for the template, found the template, and now it's filling it out. It's creating a folder for its memories. But yeah, this is what we mean by MCP. Right now, again, it's pretty hard to do this kind of stuff if you're not a programmer, but it's getting more and more accessible. And the point of this is to make it as accessible as possible to you. This is just going to be an Obsidian plugin that has all this built in, but we also have some flows, and in particular our research flow, which not only sets this up automatically for you, but is going to actually have the entire vault centered around this idea with all the templates and all that kind of stuff. So check it out in the description, and I hope this was helpful.